I believe that I have a responsibility to share my story because at the risk of sounding like Miss America, I just want to help people. And while I can't bring world peace, what I can do is carry on the good work of others that have come before me. And what I can do is to start to chip away at the stigma that it still very much exists about this disease in this country. There's a lot of discussion about people breaking anonymity. It's a good thing. Oh, it's a terrible thing. You should never do it. Since my decision to go public was actually made for me, I believe it's given me a great opportunity to reach out to other people. And I believe that all too often people confuse anonymity with secrecy. And secrecy just perpetuates the stigma that is associated with alcoholism and drug disease. Now, I respect people's anonymity, and I would never break anyone's anonymity, but I believe that every time a person in recovery shares his or her story, they're creating an environment of knowledge and of information and understanding that's free from shame or embarrassment, one that makes it possible for more people to feel like they can seek treatment. It is my fervent hope and actually my fervent belief that sharing a positive message will bring hope to those who are still sick and suffering. And there are a lot of people who are sick and suffering. Tens of millions of people in this country. And every 14 minutes, somebody dies in this country from this disease. So even though it wasn't my original choice to go public, I'm really glad I did. I'm glad things happened the way they did. Things happen for a reason. There is a plan for me that is not in my control, and it will be revealed to me sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. This is being revealed to me. In terms of the stigma about this disease that affects tens of millions of people, I like to compare it to the AIDS epidemic that started in the early 80s. Remember when nobody wanted to be in this same space as someone who had AIDS? It was a gay man's disease. It would never have any impact on me. And people with AIDS were shunned. Then Princess Diana started going to AIDS hospices in London around 1982, 1983. And she started touching people who had HIV. And she told those people, we'll be here for you. Then Liz Taylor founded AMFAR. Then Magic Johnson took the extraordinary step of saying, I'm a straight man and I have HIV. And so because of information and because of people going public and talking about it, billions of dollars have been raised and millions of people have been saved. Same with breast cancer. Remember when nobody wanted to talk about the cancer? And certainly nobody would talk about breast cancer. Well, now you can't go anywhere without seeing a pink ribbon for breast cancer and a red ribbon for HIV. So I want to get to the point in this country where we talk about addiction in the same way and we bring it out of the closet. And it's one of the reasons why I'm glad I'm here today. I would argue that addiction is the biggest healthcare issue in this country. I want to pause for a moment to put a question out there to you. How much does the disease of addiction cost this country every year? Does anybody want to take a guess? There's no wrong answer. $1 billion? Billions? Anyone else want to take a guess? Tens of billions? 100 billion? I wish it were only 100 billion. Are you ready for this? Addiction costs this country almost $500 billion a year. These are not statistics I made up. These are out there. It costs us these hundreds of billions of dollars in lost wages, lost productivity, hospitalization, incarceration, institutionalization, not to mention the huge healthcare costs, cirrhosis of the liver, heart disease, brain damage, cancer of the esophagus, and on and on and on. Alcoholism costs us $275 billion. Drug addiction costs us $215 billion. You add those up and you're talking about real money, $500 billion. So if we're going to fight this disease and fight the stigma, it's vital that we put a face on it. And that's something that the late Betty Ford understood. She not only shared her battle with breast cancer, but she took the extraordinary step of admitting that she was an alcoholic while her husband was president, or shortly thereafter. She told us that there's no shame in it, that there's not a flaw in character, it's a flaw in chemistry. And the good news is, there is a solution. As the judge pointed out, it is not a curable disease, but it is treatable.